plans for the UK tour? How are they going? Have you got any set dates yet?
We got a couple. We got a couple. We're talking to Matt, Danny, and Lee from Furion. We have a couple that are looking pretty solid. We have a lot of cities and a lot of clubs that we've been throwing around. And I think it's about time right now to be contacting everybody and trying to set some stuff up. We have somebody that's working on hopefully jumping on a couple of festivals and then kind of work a tour around that. But we don't know yet. But
I understood it is, I guess nothing really has happened since last time Danny and I spoke. But the way I understood it, we're sort of holding off on exactly booking the dates until we find out if we're going to yay or nay it on any of these festivals. And if so, we would probably try and work it around that. Okay. And if not, the original plan was not to really worry about getting on festivals or do anything, just coming over, doing like 200-300 seat gigs and playing for all of our friends and people that we have met over the years that would like to see us play again.
Absolutely amazing.
So happy to come play again.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I was contacted. I was like, oh my god, I was thinking about Mordred the other day, and it was like, I was like, fucking hell, that's unreal. I was just thinking about you guys the other day. It's really weird. So, have you got any bands sort of lined up to come over with you, or any ideas who would be a support yet?
We've had some people contact us, and possibility. There's a possibility we might see Ignorance reform to do a thing with us. We don't know. But there's been talk of it. I don't know if they're going to follow through or what their plans are completely. We've had offers from a couple of other people, but I'm not sure exactly what we're doing at this exact moment. Danny and I are kind of working together on this, but then sometimes we go a day or two without speaking, and it doesn't seem like anything's really happened since last we spoke, Dan, but correct me if I'm wrong about anything that we have so far.
Yeah, no, everything. I think we're pretty much on the same page with most of the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
The whole idea for this was born because we got together. Danny came to visit us in San Francisco, hang for a week or so, and he was like, "Let's get together and play." So we get together and play, and we were together a long time. We're like brothers.
Mm-hmm.
We went through a lot of stuff together. It's been a while since we've all played together, and I still see Jim and Art and all those guys all the time, but we don't see Danny that much.
Yeah.
And he came, and it was like not a day had passed. It was beautiful. It was so much fun. Yeah. And so we're like, let's do it again. And we did it again, and it was so much fun. We posted some pictures on Facebook, and then from there on out, as people have been contacting us, offering to either volunteer to help make T-shirts for us, to help book this whole tour. So the whole thing was made possible by people from your side of the pond just going, I want to see Mordred over here.
Definitely.
And we weren't thinking like, we're going to make an album and we're going to come back and we're going to start touring again. It was just simply like we got together and played. It was really great. And people were like, wait, we want to see that. Come over and play for us.
That's what
we're like, well,
and it was like a feedback loop. It got us excited about stuff. So now we're like, well, we should write, and now I'm like writing, and now I'm going to show these guys some music, and
cool, because that's one of my questions. I mean, it must have been totally gratifying to get such a response. I mean, from what I've seen, it's just amazing, phenomenal. Did you ever think that you'd still be in 2013, still be getting out there? I mean, you were formed in 1986, weren't you? I was 16 then.
So was I, bro.
84, I'm pretty sure, was the actual date.
Oh, it said 86.
Well, yeah, there was a Mordred going before Danny and I got involved,
right.
And I think we came in. He got in right a little bit before I did. It was about 1986, maybe. We recorded it, I think, in November of 1986, and I was like in high school.
Crikey, unbelievable.
How old are you? I'm 44. How old are you?
44. We're still rocking.
That's right.
Showing the young'uns what to do there.
I'm still the grandfather.
Yeah, Grandpa. Look at you. He's got his grandpapa beard on right now.
So, you played a lot of shows in Europe in the past. Back in the day, did you ever think about relocating to Europe? rather than
Oh
the
no!
States?
If you're asking me, I totally wanted to live in London.
Did you?
I wanted to move to Italy a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I really wanted to move to Italy. That was like my dream.
Well, yeah.
I'm with you on that one, bro.
It's
I had this girl that I went out with for a while that we did the long distance thing, and she was in Bologna, and I was like smitten, and I almost did it a couple of times, but it's hard to do the long distance relationship.
Of course it is. Yeah.
I remember that girl.
Have to find a way to rise above the pain and strife. strive.
For me, I love the idea of doing festivals, and that's great. But this is more about, for me, going over there and playing for the people that really want to see us play, and not really. I mean, it's awesome to feel great and play this big festival for all these people who probably wouldn't even have known us otherwise. But what we're really doing is we're coming over and playing for the people who we played for that are, we've made a connection with. I don't know if we're going to play every city, but we're certainly going to play the ones that people are really want us. We might possibly do 2 nights in Edinburgh.
Wherever you are, we'll be there. Definitely.
Well, it's good to know, and we really need to have this kind of insight because we really are over here. He's in New York. I'm in Oakland. We have no idea.
Right.
We haven't done this. This is not a tried and true thing.
No.
So I hope that there's no nights that'll completely bomb. But I hope, there might be.
Yeah.
And there might be some that we're like, oh my God, we should have played a bigger place. And we're just not going to know.
I'm hoping that there's 2 promoters that we've been talking to, and I'm hoping that things will work out with them because they're over there and they kind of know what happens. I mean, we're going to try and do as much work as possible because I think it'll probably, it'll be a little bit more grassroots and maybe save us a couple of bucks down the line.
Yeah.
But we're really trying to do it on our own, and we work gigs, we're in bands, we do this at home.
Yeah.
But doing this overseas, now we would not be able to even think about doing it without our friends' help over there.
I mean, we've been, like Scotty's been in this group, and they've been getting all these different cities and clubs for each of the cities. I've got a list of 15 different places, and conceivably we could set up a route, and just go from one to one and just contact them and get it together. It would be quite a bit of work to do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we could pull it off, but again, it might just make sense to just have somebody else do it.
Hey, what's up, metalheads? This is DJ Chippy from the Metal Gods Rock Show. You are listening to the Metal Meltdown with the legend that is Mr. Sebastian Martino Di Gatto. He rocks.
Can we expect what kind of show is it going to be? Is it going to be frantic?
Well,
I would kind of like to think it would be an extension of the Endless Live type of stuff. I think it would be like Vision meets Endless Live and kind of like a jump off from that time and that feel and that era. I mean, that's just my own personal take on it, but it seems like the set list that Scotty, put up, he was asking people, what would you guys think would be a good set list? And they were like, it was 2.5 hours worth of material. It's probably a little bit too long of a show.
Right.
But,
well, listen, man, we want to play what the people want to hear. And, that's the whole kind of basis of this tour thing is that we're like, look, we're playing for you. We want to come over because you want to see us play. What do you want to see us play?
Right.
Totally.
And so songs that everybody was saying, I'm very much on board with that feel and that time and that particular era of Mordred.
Set list somewhere on the old. We have a couple of these little chat groups going with with Mordred right now, and
Cool.
whoever's interested is definitely welcome to participate and help pick set lists. And
Cool.
Even lodging for the band. That's.
you had such a diverse sound when you first came out. What actually influenced you both growing up?
Scotty?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Well, certainly all the sort of, growing up young, all the, Black Sabbath and that era stuff, Alice Cooper and Rush and all that kind of stuff. And then at the same time that was going on, like AC/DC, all that, other stuff like Earth, Wind and Fire and Gap Band. And there was a lot of local bands here, Kool and the Gang, that, you definitely were highly exposed to it growing up around here.
Uh-huh.
And then with skateboarding, that's something that we got into pretty young. Skateboarders tend to listen to not just one, like we'll be all hanging out, a bunch of people, we're all skating, and we'll be listening to soul, and then we'll listen to metal, and we'll listen to some hip-hop, and we'll listen to so it was always like a lot of different stuff going on, and everybody kind of listening to each other's.
They just wanted something with a lot of energy for them to do their tricks and stuff.
Right, okay.
It's music, it could be anywhere from reggae to funk to thrash to.
Do you skateboard now still? Do you get out there skateboarding?
Yeah.
Do you?
I do.
That's
My
really
son-
cool.
My son
That's
is
really cool.
about to turn 10 and
Yeah?
skates. I skate right with him, yeah.
That's
we go to
epic.
the big bowl out in Berkeley and hit it.
Wicked. So you were saying earlier about maybe you're writing at the moment. Maybe it would be a good idea if you could get an EP out just before you do come over the water. That would be cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
I want to hear this stuff Danny keeps talking about. This is the second time I heard of it. It's like, oh, really?
There's all kinds of stuff that's going on behind the scenes. It's just I don't really want to talk about it.
So it must have been quite frustrating though, like over the years to see some of the bands, these new metal bands especially, come along and they've sort of like taken what you've done and modernised it. Does that make sense? Has that?
I think it was really frustrating for me. I think it was kind of like a little bit of a pat on the back in a way I mean, I thought we were kind of ahead of our time, and we tried to do a lot of stuff that a lot of bands weren't into. I mean, we really were kind of like the bastard son of heavy metal. Like, Mordred was like a bunch of different types of like music rolled into one, because that's what we liked.
Yeah.
We just liked that stuff. It was just an extension of what we liked as people and musicians.
Yeah.
So it's cool for me to see the bands, you know, like whether or not they picked up on it from us or it was a natural.
It might have been inevitable that sound kind of came together, but it was sure fun being there at the crest of the wave, or I guess where the wave hit, maybe.
I think it's cool.
But I never felt bitter about it. Like Dan said, it was like I always felt kind of like happy.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily love all the bands or love all the directions they went with it, but I was happy to be a part of something that actually mattered.
Right.
You know?
Over the years, what have you been doing? Have you been involved heavily still with the music industries, or have you gone and done other things? What have you both done?
I mean,
it's an essay for both of us, but go ahead.
Really, yeah. I mean, I've been in bands. You know, ever since then, I've been in bands. I was in a rockabilly band for a while. I was in a funk band for a while. I was, I worked as an engineer for a long time. You know, like a commercial engineer. I used to work with VH1 and MTV. And, you know, like the cable companies, and did that for a long time.
Cool.
And I've been teaching a lot, you know, like over the past like 6-7 years now. I've gotten into teaching, and it's like I really like to teach kids. I like kids. I don't know what the heck happened, but I mean, I'm in charge of the music program at a private high school,
right?
And I like kids. It's crazy. I never thought I would.
Right.
But you do. So, I mean, I'm happy, you know, in this stage of my life right now, and I feel like I like giving back and my knowledge, you know, and what I have to offer, if they feel like it's something that, you know, is they feel is worthy for them to take, then it makes me feel good that I'm able to kind of spark a little bit of, you know, of interest in music, and I enjoy it. I really do.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Scott?
Are you saying, Danny, that you are a musician for life? A lifer, so to speak? Would you classify yourself as that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, hopefully they won't kill me. I won't get the death penalty.
Not today, buddy. Not today. I think you're okay.
Yeah, no, the good kids.
Cool. Kids. And what about yourself, Scott? What have you been sort of doing in the gaps?
Well, I always kept playing in bands, and I've actually been playing with some of the guys I've been playing with for the last 20 years.
Okay.
And we just kind of like make a band, play it for a while, like it does well or not, and then, you know, maybe we get bored of it and we make another band with some of the same guys, and maybe we even use some songs, and it's just been kind of a continuous sort of progression.
Awesome.
And then when the Mordred thing kind of stopped for me, I was lucky enough to get a job in the recording studio that we used to do our work and with Mordred, and
Fantasy.
Yeah, Fantasy. And there I got a lot of great experience working with a lot of great artists, and I learned a ton of stuff and wisdom of a lot of older players, and it was really awesome time for me. And then I did some other stuff for a while, and I went back there and worked there again for a while. Right. My brother-in-law works there, and like other people that I've stayed really close with. It's like a big family down there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like a huge influence. And you know, I'm not gonna like start name dropping some of the people, but there was some cool stuff.
Cool. Hey, we don't name droppers on here.
John Lee Booker on something.
Oh, cool.
Okay?
Cool.
That's the only one.
That's amazing. So, are there any regrets? I mean, if you could start again, would you want to be in the music industry now, or do you think being back in the 80s was the time to... That was the better time, wasn't it? Or how do you feel on that?
You know, I don't really know about, like, what's totally going on in that respect these days, but I know when we did it, we were young and we were having fun, and we were lucky enough to be in a position that we could come and do that sort of thing. I think it's a lot smaller of a pinhole of opportunity for bands these days, and so I think that we probably did well to do it when we did, and of course because we're freaking old men now. Ride a skateboard.
Yeah, exactly. So when you come over to England, are there any towns in that we've got to put out warnings? I mean, is there any places where your behaviour 10 or 20 years ago was so bad?
I mean, Scotty, you can probably speak to a couple of those things.
I don't really have any recollection of causing any trouble with that.
You Reagan?
I have no recollection of that. Am I Reagan? Wait, hold on.
It's all
I
gone.
am. Nancy, where's the pie? Favorite Mordred song of all time that encapsulated. Well, I have a couple of favorite ones, but my all-time favorite one is "The Vagrant," which actually Danny wrote that song. It's not even one that I wrote myself, but I actually just love the perspective of the person he was writing about, and it was very much. And we're talking about Reagan, kind of jokingly, and then Bush after that. But a lot of bad things happened in our country as a result of those guys being in office. And one of those was that there was a major spike in the homeless.
Yeah.
Because they just basically closed down all the state institutions.
Yeah.
And so when we were playing music during those days, our studios weren't located in the nicest neighborhoods necessarily. And we saw quite a lot of urban decay, let's just say. And so for me, that one and also Window to the World is also, because it's something very still true today. They're lying on the television. It's simple, but we said it first.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember working downtown San Francisco, and just running into it daily, getting off the train in the morning and walking to work. And you have these huge, high-rises with all of these millions of dollars in these companies, and there's this guy that's sitting, on the corner with a sign. He's a vet. Like, he fought for the country, and we basically forgot about him. And he's, like, on his own, and he's just a mess. And it makes me kind of I felt ashamed a little bit, Like, I didn't feel necessarily like it was my fault, but I felt like I was part of a country that didn't really back up what it said in the first place. Was you go fight for us and we'll take care of you. Well,
but Danny,
Exactly.
what I also feel too is that I'm sorry to speak for you, but we didn't have a lot of dough. We were powerless to do anything about it, other than to write about it.
I mean,
that's the only present. We're like the little freaking poor ass drummer boy at Christmas. Right?
Yeah.
I play our rumba bum bum. That's all we did.
Like when I could give him some money on my way to work. Like just give him a couple bucks or whatever, to get a fucking sandwich or something.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying though? Even a couple of bucks is not really helping the dude out. It's like we're powerless to do anything other than to express maybe this guy's feeling. And Danny, I appreciate that song very much. It's got a great, kind of melody to it, and I love really singing that one. But that was a good, meaningful one for me. Now, what's yours?
I would have to say probably Closed-Minded. I mean, it changes though. I'll go through periods of like in this one, and then and I'm like, oh yeah, actually that was a really good tune. Closed-Minded because I just liked P's lyrics in that, and I just really thought it was very groundbreaking back in the day for him to speak directly to the audience and say, just try, open your minds a little bit, and come closer to the stage and give us a chance. It's something that's different. It's not your typical metal. It's got parts of that, but it's also got some other stuff in there as well. And
I don't remember those particular lyrics in the song, but yeah.
Take a little chance.
So, carry on.
Yeah, man.
So with the
No,
new
I love that tune too, bro. I do.
with the new stuff you're writing, then what sort of direction and theme is that taking? Is that the same sort of thing? That
I mean, I kind of think it's a little bit of an offshoot of Vision. I mean, they haven't heard any of it yet, but I've got 3 tunes right now, and I've got another one that I'm working on, and I don't even know if they're gonna like them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like writing, and I'm gonna send it out there, and they're gonna say, okay, either they like it, or maybe they want to rework this section, or maybe they want to like add something else, or maybe they're gonna be like, dude, you need to start over. It's been a couple of years, and you might want to like check that out.
okay.
Well, you know, the process that we always went through before was that we had a couple of different ways we worked it. We would either have Danny or Gannon or whoever was writing the song bring in something that was somewhat kind of put together, and then we would try and sort of work out individual parts off of the melodies that were already existing.
Uh-huh.
A couple of times we took a lyric that I wrote and actually wrote the song around the lyric, and then a couple of times we've done it like all sorts of different ways. We've done it to where we've all been in a room together hashing out and putting parts together and making a song. So there's not really one particular way we do it, but I mean, having Danny come up with some material like this is a great start for getting anything like that together. And
Yeah, just get the ball going. Yeah.
my whole vision and my whole feeling about doing this sort of thing at all is that it's just so much fun.
Absolutely.
It's just it's like whether or not I love everything you send out or not, it's still fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Totally. That's amazing. Okay, this one always catches everyone. 4 words to describe Mordred.
Not 4-letter words, mate.
Whatever.
Well, for me,
Yeah.
4 words.
Open-minded. I mean, that's 2 words. Kind of hyphenated, but it kind of works.
Not for everyone. That's 3, right?
That'll do, man. That was good. That was good. It usually throws people and they're just like, hey, what?
Wait, look, just give me a second. I'll think of it. Danny, you go. You're always throwing me under the bus. Send me under first.
No, I said open-minded is one phrase I would definitely say.
You said 4 words.
All right, so that's like one phrase, okay? I mean, like, you do one
You
now.
can break it into phrases.
You know what? I'm not taking them so literally.
Don't tread on me.
Don't be falling out already. Come on. Okay.
That was an example. That's not my final answer.
Okay.
How about
Geriatric.
we had good times,
Okay.
or we have.
That's a sentence. At least that might.
That will do. That will
That's
do.
4 words. He said the man says 4 words. Okay.
Well, that's
4
cool.
Words. 4 words. You didn't say 2 phrases.
No, seriously, that's fine. You're going to be falling out in a minute. I don't want that.
He's like, oh, you're losing your connection, boys. Sorry.
You're breaking up.
Okay, then. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans and our listeners?
I mean, thanks for coming out and sparking some interest. If Matt Denny hadn't have contacted me, I was in San Francisco and he contacted me out of the blue. I didn't know who the guy was, and he was like, what would it take for you guys to come over to the UK? And I was like, money. And joking around with him, and he was like, well, how much? And I was like, wait a minute, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And I was like,
how much could me and my friends pull together, rent you a slow-moving boat from New York over to...
right. Well, we'll be there in about 10 years.
Yeah.
No, it only takes like a month, mate. Let's just swap one like a freighter.
Exactly, yeah. Stowaways.
It was a nice kind of, surgeons, and he basically like lit a fire under my butt a little bit. And I said, let me talk to the guys and see what's up. And then we made a Facebook page, and people started to chime in.
Mm-hmm.
And then once people started to chime in, then it kind of was like, oh, that's nice. It's nice, everybody's like remembering and going back over old photos and chiming in from, everywhere. Everybody started like putting up their collections and their jerseys and their tickets and their pictures from,
I just think it's nice that, and I hear people have contacted me through Facebook over the years, and I hear the nicest things of people that were in some way, we met, we became friends with, we maybe influenced them in some way to, we met a lot of younger people, and like Religion of Tomorrow, I'm totally proud of those guys. They just got a record deal, and those are, the types of stories, but see, it's weird to say fans necessarily, because it's like we're more like friends.
Yeah.
It's like I might not know everybody completely personally, but it's like we didn't have such a big thing that it's like we had this faceless fan base. It's like we hung out in the crowd. We didn't, hide behind dressing rooms and barricades. We were always just right there.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, when you say fans, it's like it's weird to me to even think that there would be fans as much as like people that we know that are like still down with hanging out. But what I would say is thank you, and that we never even would be speaking about doing this at all if not for 100% friends and fans telling us that we could possibly do this and we'll help you. And we couldn't do it without the help that we're getting.
Yeah.
Seriously, I hate to say it, without the Facebook and with the socialized media, this would have never come to be. We would just be jamming out in our friends' rehearsal spot and having a good time, and it would never go any further than that.
Yeah.
Without the help and the
social media
and the love that we're getting from our friends over there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That's absolutely brilliant. Thanks for that.
This is Scott Olderby.
And Daniel Waite.
And you're listening to the Metal Meltdown. Meltdown.
Meltdown.
Meltdown.
Downtown surrounds. Going to fucking up.